Good morning. I'm about to go pick up the Walmart pickup order. The only substitution was that they had red grapes instead of green, and they did not have the ham. So I'm gonna go pick up the Walmart pickup order. I did go into my local marketplace here and I found some ham on clearance. So I grabbed that. It was $1.99 for 24 ounces, which is pretty good. So I'll show that to you once I pick everything else up. All right, I just got back from my Walmart pickup. Here's our haul. I'm so surprised I was able to get all of this for $94. It's crazy how much you can get when you are very intentional about what you're buying. This was 50 items for $94. I mean, like the limes obviously were only like 20 cents each, but here's what my plan is. Here I've got almond milk and strawberries and mangoes for, we have a Ninja Creamy, so we're going to be making ice cream for a dessert or a snack. We've got some sparkling waters. My husband really likes these. He feels like they really help curb his hunger, so I grabbed some of those. This was the discount ham that I found for $1.99. I'm going to be making ham fried rice with some rice and these peas and carrots. I got 2 dozen eggs for breakfast. Let's see, I'm gonna do fajita bowls once this avocado is ripe, so that'll be a little bit later in the week. I got a chicken over here. I'm gonna be taking all the meat off and taking the bones from the chicken and from our drumsticks and making broth. With that broth, I'm going to do like a tortilla soup. It's gonna have rice, black beans, corn, the salsa that I have homemade, a quart of salsa, and a lime. I'll save a little of the cilantro for that. It's like a tortilla soup without the tortillas. And then with the rest of the broth, I'm gonna be doing chicken with some of the chicken from that chicken and carrots, potatoes. So a veggie, probably some peas if we have some left. So that's gonna be like a veggie chicken soup. These raspberries I just got from my 1-year-old. I got them organic because she is really sensitive. And I just wanted her to have like a really high quality berry that she could have as a snack throughout the week. I'm also gonna be feeding her grapes and peas and cuties for her snacks. For my 4-year-old, I did get these bananas just for him to snack on. So that's what he'll be eating for his snacks. I'm going to do drumsticks with a side of potatoes. I think I'm gonna have some corn left from the soup, so a side of corn. I do have 1 zucchini that I got for just a veggie side for one of the meals. And yeah, some apples for breakfast. And I'll show you throughout the week what I use everything for. I am gonna be doing this bacon for breakfast, except I did get 2 cans of green beans, so that will be 2 sides for 2 different days. I like to just take a piece of bacon or 2 pieces and fry it and then cut it up really small and mix it with some green beans. It's really good. I'll show you how to do it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get my daughter's snack ready first, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All right, so I've got these snacks ready for her throughout the week. It's super nice just to have it already ready to go. So, got that ready. This is what I'm having for breakfast, just 2 eggs and some fruit. My 4-year-old had 2 eggs and my 1-year-old had a few bites of my egg and a plate of fruit. All right, so for lunch today, we're gonna do ham fried rice. I've got half of one of the onions in here, 2 cups of rice. I'm going to put in these 2 cloves of garlic, 3 eggs. I'll probably use half the bag of those peas and carrots. And then I assume everyone will have like the regular pantry staples, olive oil, salt, pepper, some seasonings. I'm gonna use ground ginger and some gluten-free soy sauce. And then here's my ham. So I'm just waiting for this onion and then I'll start adding everything else in. All right, I've got everything in here except for my eggs and rice. So I'm adding the eggs now. This ended up being a ton of ham. I actually saved a little bit, a few slices for breakfast. Yeah, it's definitely plenty of protein in this meal. All right, so here it is. This is a ton of food. This is what I found in my fridge as far as like a gluten-free soy sauce and a coconut amino. So anything that you have like that to add to it is great. It would honestly be good without it too if you don't have anything like that. So this is everyone's lunch, my husband's, mine, and my kids. I think it's gonna be great, and it's definitely plenty of food for everyone. This is like a serving size bowl. It's a huge bowl versus like one of your regular cereal bowls. So it's definitely plenty for everyone. Okay, so I cut up 5 potatoes and seasoned them, and I'm just gonna air fry them for 25 minutes. I just finished the green beans in bacon and onions. So I do 2 pieces of bacon and 1/4 of an onion and cut them up both really small and saute them. And then I cook the green beans in the bacon fat. So all together, I just throw in a can of green beans and add a little bit of garlic salt. It's so easy and they're so good. Here's mine and my husband's dinner for night 1. I cooked 4 chicken legs, drumsticks, and my husband's getting 2, I got 1, and then my kids shared 1. My kids already ate, but yeah, this is a ton. I did 5 potatoes, can of green beans, and 4 drumsticks for all of us. My husband doesn't eat breakfast, and he just prefers to have 2 big meals instead of 3 medium-sized ones. So that's why his plates are usually loaded up, because he doesn't eat breakfast. And this is just a simple mustard and ketchup. It doesn't have anything else in it. Mustard and ketchup mixed up for the fries. Here is breakfast for day 2. My husband does not eat breakfast, but here's mine and my daughter's and my son's. He already ate his grapes while he was waiting, and she ate most of hers. But this is what I made. So I cut up 1 potato, about a little less than 1/4 of an onion, and 2 pieces of bacon, and 1 egg. So that's all fried together and seasoned. All right, I'm about to make lunch. I have 5 potatoes, 3 carrots, zucchini, a little over half of an onion, and 4 drumsticks. So I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and I'm going to chop all this up and just do a 1-pan meal. I just put it in the oven. It takes like an hour to cook. Just make sure you season it really good, and I like to spray the whole thing with avocado oil. Okay, so this is what it looks like all cut up and ready to go in the oven. These are the seasonings that I used. I really like this for crisping food up. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven. I decided to do 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna put it in there for 1 hour.
Oh, you like this song?
My husband's gonna eat his meal from last night because he ended up working super late. So they fed him dinner last night, and so he still has his full plate from yesterday. Me and my kids are just craving fruit for dinner, but I am gonna try to do a little bit of eggs and bacon so that we have some protein. Our lunch was just so big, we're just not even hungry. That was a massive pan. It was not a regular size cookie sheet. It was one of the extra large ones that's like the size of a pan and a half. And you saw how full it was of veggies and chicken. So I just have 2 pieces of bacon, and I'm gonna add 2 eggs and scramble this, just to force us to get a little bit of protein in and not just eat fruit. And my big helper over here is taking the seeds out of the cantaloupe, and we're gonna have a side of cantaloupe. So here is our plates. This was only half of the cantaloupe, but this one's mine, my 4-year-old, and my 1-year-old's. So yeah, super simple dinner. And again, my husband's just gonna be eating the dinner that I made for him last night. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make breakfast for me and the 2 kids. Got my pan heat up, and I just grated 1 potato. I'm gonna make some hash browns. A little update on where we're at in the fruit. We've eaten a couple of the apples, but we still have most of them left. We have 4 bananas left and few cuties, like 5 left. So we have been eating through the fruit. The kids have been eating it a lot as snacks, and also my husband's been giving it to them when they get up early so that I have time to come make breakfast before they get all crazy hungry. We also still have like half a bag of grapes, and we're gonna eat the other half of the cantaloupe for breakfast this morning. I added 3 pieces of bacon in, and then I'm gonna cut it up small and mix it in with the potatoes. I'm still on the first 1 pound package of bacon. I only got 1 package, but I'm so surprised I still have like half the package left. It has so many pieces in it. All right, so I just cracked the last 2 eggs in this carton. I'm just gonna do one for me and my son. I'll give my 1-year-old a couple bites of mine, but she just doesn't like eggs. So if I give her a whole egg, she's gonna waste it anyway. So that's the end of 1 carton. We do have 1 dozen left for the rest of the week. Okay, so here's our breakfast. This is mine, my 4-year-old, and the 1-year-old. I gave her a few of the whites of the eggs, but it's likely she won't eat them anyway. She just really doesn't like eggs. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make our ice cream. We did get strawberries and mangoes for this. Typically, I like to get a almond milk with the fewest amount of ingredients, but I decided to get this flavored one this time. It does have sugar and some other gums and flavorings, but I decided to get this vanilla one because then I wouldn't need to use a lot more ingredients to be able to make this ice cream. I've gone back and forth on whether or not to include collagen. We always put it in our ice cream. It does help with the creaminess and it adds a lot of protein. You definitely don't need it, but we do see it as more of like a supplement. It's great for your hair, your nails, and your skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a scoop in on each one. I've got 4 here, and I'm going to blend it with just fruit, the vanilla almond milk, and a scoop of this for each one, but I'll be doing 2 at a time. So I'll do the mango first. I'm just gonna measure this out to see how much I would need. Yeah, so the whole bag. This is 16 ounces. The recommended time for them to freeze is 24 hours, but when you use frozen fruit, it doesn't take as long. So this should be ready tonight at dinner. You want some? No, don't put that in your mouth. So typically I would use a plain almond milk and I would add organic maple syrup. But with a $100 a week budget, I just did not have the money to get organic maple syrup. So that's why I decided to do the flavored almond milk. Right, so I've got these 2 both right at the max line. Right, these are gonna go in the freezer. Okay, so for the next one, we're gonna do strawberry. I'm not gonna bother to rinse out the blender because it's fine with me if it has a little bit of the mango flavor. This was also 16 ounces. And I buy this at Costco when it's on sale, and it does last us a long time. It's got 34 servings per container. That might be too much milk, so. It's so good. Just tastes like strawberry ice cream. I'm trying to smooth this down as best as I can. Make it as flat as I can. I'm just gonna put the lids on. These will go in the freezer, and because they're already partially frozen, we should have one ready for tonight after dinner. Today for lunch, I'm going to do ground turkey and broccoli over rice. It's gonna be kind of like beef and broccoli, but it's gonna be using ground turkey. So I've got 2 pounds of turkey here, and I'm gonna try to get 3 meals out of 2 pounds. So I'm probably gonna cut these like this and then use it for 3 meals. So it'll be like 65% of a pound, 65% of a pound, 70% of a pound, if that makes sense. Okay, so I've got my turkey browning and 2 cups of rice going. I'm gonna add in 1/4 of an onion and 2 cloves of garlic. And then I'm going to add a lot of ginger. I'm gonna try to really mask the turkey flavor by adding ginger, gluten-free soy sauce, and coconut aminos. All right. This one looks like all browned up. These are the sauces that I just found in my fridge. You can do it with or without them. Just whatever you have. It would be just fine without them too. And then I'm just gonna dump in the broccoli. This is 12 ounces of broccoli. And I did save a few pieces out for my 1-year-old. And I'm gonna just microwave those. You want them? We gotta cook them. Just cause I don't know how she's gonna do with this sauce. And I'll probably take a little bit of the meat out and rinse it too. She has a lot of allergies and sometimes she just reacts randomly to things. So I just have to kind of go plain with her. All right, so here's lunch. This is my 1-year-old's. I broke hers up really small. For my 4-year-old, me, and my husband. And this is so good. I would never guess that this is ground turkey instead of ground beef. If you just season it right, it's so good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my broth going for my soups. I've got 2 baggies here, and I'm just going to take all the chicken off of this rotisserie chicken, and I'm gonna split it between the 2 bags. All right, so I finished deboning it. I got a lot of chicken. So this is a sandwich bag that's stuffed full for one of the soups, another sandwich bag stuffed full for another one of the soups, and there was still this much that couldn't fit in one of the bags. So we have 3 drumsticks left for another meal. I'm gonna use this for the kids for that meal, and then my husband can have 2 drumsticks and I can have 1. So for the soup, I'm gonna take all the bones, and I mean, I've got like skin in here and other stuff that we're not gonna eat, and put it in this strainer. And then I've got the bones from the drumsticks that we've eaten so far to add to that. I'm gonna put this inside of my 8-quart Instapot, just like this, and then fill it 6 quarts of water, and I'm going to pressure cook it on the soup broth setting for 3 hours, and then I'll have my broth. Okay, so this broth is done. It looks great. I'm going to take half of it out for a soup later in the week, and then tonight we're gonna do chicken veggie soup for dinner. All right, so I took 2 quarts out for another soup for later in the week, and then I cut up 3 potatoes. I turn it on the soup/broth so that we can get this boiling to cook the potatoes and carrots. Okay, I've got 4 carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and add them in. Okay, my potatoes and carrots are soft, and I did add in 3 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna add the rest of these peas and one of the bags of chicken. I'm just gonna season this with like salt and pepper, some smoked paprika, and then it's finished and ready to serve. This is a lot. This is a ton of soup. This is 4 quarts, so it'll be plenty for this meal. I'm not sure if we'll eat it all, but if we don't, then we'll have a leftover soup day. Okay, this is breakfast day 4. I'm just cooking up the rest of the ham that I had left over with some eggs here. My husband is gone for lunch today. His work is providing lunch. So me and the kids are just gonna have the rest of the soup from last night. Okay, me and the kids are gonna have some strawberry ice cream after our lunch. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the top. I just find it mixes better and it's not so dry. All right, so we've got dinner day 4 here. We have a quarter of an onion. By the way, those onions were massive, so that's why they're stretching so long. And then some of the ground turkey, it's like 2/3 of a pound of ground turkey. And then I have 2 cups of rice. And I have a few of these peas and carrots left. So I'm just gonna add this in so we can get a little bit of veggies in. There isn't a ton left, but it's okay. So we're gonna just do meat and rice, keep it super simple tonight. All right, here's the final result. Just mostly rice with some meat and veggies. This is definitely plenty for the 4 of us tonight, and I'm glad we're just keeping it simple. It is the morning of day 5, and I'm making breakfast. I have 2 pieces of bacon here that I cut up. I'm gonna fry it up and add 2 eggs, and then I have 2 potatoes that I just cooked in the air fryer that I'll be mixing in as well. Okay, so here's breakfast day 5. Me, my 4-year-old, and my 1-year-old. So this is what I made for lunch. I used the last can of green beans with 2 pieces of bacon and a little bit of an onion. It was probably a little bit less than a quarter. And then we did rice, and this chicken, I did a little bit of gluten-free soy sauce, honey, and garlic. This chicken was actually the drumsticks. We just got sick of eating drumsticks, so I took the chicken off and just tossed it in the soy sauce mixture and put it over rice. Today for dinner on day 5, we're just gonna finish this from last night. We didn't eat it very good, but hopefully we'll be able to finish it tonight. For breakfast day 6, we're just doing rice, almond milk, and cinnamon mixed up, and a side of cuties. This is just 2 potatoes that we're gonna have as a snack. It's around lunchtime, but we're gonna have a massive dinner, and an early dinner. So we're just gonna kind of snack on apples and some potato wedges. All right, so we are doing the fajita bowls for dinner tonight for dinner day 6. So we've got this pan here full of onions and peppers and seasonings. Here we have the rice cooking and the chicken is on the grill. And then I have a bowl of the diced avocado and cilantro. This is the morning of day 7. I have the rest of the bacon here, which was 4 pieces, and almost the rest of the onion. I did save a little bit of the onion for the soup tonight. We try to have a really big breakfast on Sunday morning, and then we usually don't really do much of a lunch. We'll just kind of do snacks. I've got the rest of the potatoes here, which was 6 potatoes. This might be too much for us this morning, but I'll just cook them all and see where it puts us at. All right, here is our breakfast for day 7. My son is having 1 egg. My daughter's having an egg. I'm having 2 eggs, and my husband is having 3 eggs, plus the whites that fell off of ours. And then we still have the cucumber, so I cut that up, and there's all the potatoes. All right, here's our very last dinner. I've got the remainder of the onion and some garlic just simmering in here. And then this is the last of our rice. I have 2 cups left. I have this bag of chicken from the rest of the rotisserie chicken. I have my can of black beans, my broth, cilantro, the rest of the salsa, and corn. And I'll let this cook down, let the onions cook, add everything else in, and I'll show you how it looks at the end. Okay, here's the finished product. There is corn, but my daughter can't have corn. So I'm just gonna put it on the side and let people add it to their own bowls, because corn in this is gonna be really yummy. All right, so our week is over and we were able to totally do $100 for the week. We did have some leftover chicken, 3 chicken breasts, which we didn't have lunch yesterday. If you wanted to have lunch, you could do something with those 3 chicken breasts. We just had a big dinner and a big breakfast. And then I did have a little bit of ground turkey left. In hindsight, I should have just done the full pound for each meal because I didn't end up using the leftover that I was trying to save for another meal anyway. So I would definitely just use the full pound. For 4 people, it's you kind of need a pound of meat. They were a little bit light on the meat for us. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe. I also have some gluten-free, dairy-free pie recipes going up on my channel if you want to check those out.